The sky over Buttercup Lane was gray and grumbly. Big, sleepy clouds floated like sleepy sheep, and the sun was nowhere to be seen. Rain had fallen all night, and everything was squishy, soggy, and splish-splashy. In a tiny blue house with yellow shutters lived a girl named Jackie. Jackie had curly hair like fluffy clouds and wore a raincoat covered in bright orange carrots. Her boots were yellow with smiley frogs on the toes. She was 5 years old and very good at jumping in puddles, especially the biggest, sploshiest ones. Jackie pressed her nose to the window. "Rain, rain, go away," she whispered, tracing a circle on the foggy glass. "Come again another day, but not today. Please." Her dog, Pickle, a little white terrier with one brown ear, wagged his tail and barked softly. "Mom, can I go outside, just for a little puddle jump?" Jackie asked. Her mom peeked around the kitchen door, holding a mug of warm cocoa. "Only if you wear your raincoat and promise not to roll in the mud like last time." "I didn't roll, Mum. I accidentally slid." Her mom raised an eyebrow. Jackie zipped up her carrot-covered coat with a giggle. "I promise." She and Pickle trotted outside, their boots and paws squelching in the soft grass. Jackie peeked up at the sky. The rain had stopped, but the world was still wet and shimmery. Puddles sparkled on the pavement like secret mirrors. One puddle near the gate was big and round and shimmered strangely. Jackie blinked. "Pickle, does that puddle look funny to you?" Pickle sniffed it. He wagged his tail but didn't step in. The puddle shimmered with a swirl of colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. It wasn't just reflecting the sky. The puddle was glowing, like someone had spilled a rainbow into it. Jackie took a cautious step forward. The water didn't ripple like it normally did. Instead, it rippled with glitter and tiny sparkles. The surface sparkled like jelly with glitter sprinkles. "Ooh," she breathed. "A magic puddle?" Pickle gave a tiny sneeze and wagged his tail faster. Jackie bent down and gently poked the puddle with her finger. Bloop! The puddle pulled her finger in just for a second, then let go. "Whoa!" Pickle barked in surprise. Jackie looked at the puddle, then at Pickle. "Should we try jumping in?" she asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Pickle tilted his head. Jackie stepped back, wiggled her boots, and said, "Ready? On 3." She counted. 1, 2, 3! Splash! Jackie jumped with all her might and vanished. Pickle barked, then he leapt in after her. But instead of landing with a big splash, Jackie tumbled through something soft, swirly, and twisty. It was like sliding through jelly made of light. She twirled and whirled and weed until, plop! Jackie landed gently on something soft and springy. She opened her eyes. She wasn't in her front garden anymore. Around her were the tallest blades of grass she had ever seen. Giant daisies bigger than dinner plates bloomed beside her, and the sky above was pink. Jackie stood up slowly. The ground beneath her boots shimmered in pastel stripes. The air smelled like cotton candy. "Pickle?" she called. Pickle plopped down beside her with a yip and wagged his tail. Jackie looked around. They were in a field of enormous flowers and colorful trees with jelly bean leaves. Butterflies as big as paper fans fluttered overhead. The puddle they'd jumped into had disappeared, replaced by a shiny swirl on the ground that looked like a peppermint. "We're not in Buttercup Lane anymore," Jackie whispered. Pickle barked in agreement. Just then, a tiny voice piped up. "Excuse me, you're standing on my umbrella." Jackie looked down. A teeny creature with wings, wearing a mushroom hat and holding a teacup umbrella, was frowning at her. "Oh, sorry." Jackie stepped back quickly. The creature flapped its wings and floated up. "You must be from the outside world. No boots here ever shine like that." Jackie looked at her boots. They were still yellow, but now they sparkled. "Where are we?" Jackie asked. "You're in the rainbow realm, Puddle Jumper. I'm Whimsy, a flutterling, and you've found the puddle that leads to us. Is it okay that I'm here?" Whimsy nodded. "It's rare, but sometimes the puddle chooses a visitor, and when it does, that visitor usually helps us with a teensy-weensy, enormous problem." Jackie blinked. "A problem?" Whimsy's wings drooped. "A very serious one. The rainbow puddles are drying up. Without them, our colors will fade and our sky will turn gray forever." Pickle gave a worried whimper. Jackie straightened her shoulders. "Well, then I guess I'm here to help." Whimsy clapped her tiny hands. "Wonderful! We must go to the Color Council. They'll explain everything." And with that, the flutterlings zipped ahead, leading Jackie and Pickle into the sparkling world of the Rainbow Realm. Jackie didn't know what was coming next, but one thing was for sure. This was no ordinary puddle adventure. Whimsy the flutterling zipped ahead, like a dragonfly on a mission, her tiny umbrella bobbing behind her like a kite. Jackie and Pickle followed close behind, their boots tapping on soft, rainbow-striped grass. The path curved gently between towering candy-colored mushrooms and trees with gumdrop-shaped leaves. Every step seemed to release little poofs of colored mist, like walking through a dream. "This place is amazing," Jackie whispered, wide-eyed. Pickle barked once and sniffed the rainbow grass. His tail wagged in slow wonder. Whimsy floated backwards so she could face Jackie while flying. The Rainbow Realm wasn't always this quiet. Usually, it buzzes with flutterlings, bounce bees, and glimmerbugs. But ever since the puddles started fading, the joy's been fading too. Is it because of the weather? At home, when it doesn't rain, the puddles go away. Oh no, puddles here don't follow rain. They're made from laughter, kindness, and a sprinkle of silly dreams. The rainbow puddle is the strongest of all, and it's what lets the magic connect with your world. But now, it's barely a shimmer. Jackie's brows knit together. What made it start fading? "That's why we need the Color Council," Whimsy said. "They watch over all the puddles, big and small." After a final turn on the path, Jackie gasped. Before them stood a tall tower made from stacked teacups of every color, size, and shape. The teacups glowed faintly, and at the top, a swirly straw puffed little clouds into the air. "Is that the Color Council?" Jackie asked. Whimsy nodded proudly. "Come on, they'll want to meet you." They reached the teacup tower, and a door shaped like a donut slowly swung open. A voice called out, "Please enter. Tread lightly and respectfully, for colors are listening." Inside, the walls shimmered with soft, moving hues. Floating chairs hovered in the air, and at the center sat 5 colorful figures, each perched on a seat shaped like their color. The first had flowing red hair made of ribbons and a robe like a flickering flame. The second wore bright orange glasses and carried a backpack filled with crayons. The third shimmered in golden yellow, with sunflowers trailing behind her when she moved. The fourth was dressed in calm green, with mossy boots and a satchel full of leaves. The fifth sparkled in sky blue, wearing a long scarf that drifted like a breeze. They all turned as Jackie and Pickle stepped forward. "Is this the puddle caller?" asked the red one, her voice strong and curious. Whimsy fluttered beside Jackie. "Yes, Council. She found the rainbow puddle on Bittercup Lane." The yellow one gave a kind smile. "And the puddle let her through. That means hope remains." Jackie swallowed hard and stepped forward. Hi, I'm Jackie. This is Pickle. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. I was just puddle jumping. The green one chuckled softly. No trouble, dear puddle jumper. The magic chooses carefully. The blue one leaned forward. Then you must hear what's wrong. Whimsy, if you please. Whimsy bowed and spoke. The puddles are fading. The laugh lilies wilted this morning. The rainbow pond behind the giggle tree has cracked. The Orange Council member frowned. More puddles fading means the realm is losing its cheer. That's why fewer creatures are out. Can we fix it? Jackie asked. The red one stood. We believe so, but only if we find what's draining the colors, and only someone from your world can spot it. Why me? Because your heart is still full of play. You believe in puddles and possibilities. Pickle gave a proud bark. Jackie took a deep breath. What do I do? Whimsy fluttered up. First, you must visit the faded glade. It was once the brightest puddle field in the realm. If something is wrong, the answer may be there. The Green Council member handed Jackie a tiny pouch of puddle dust. It can restore a small sparkle for emergencies. The blue one added, and here is your badge. She handed Jackie a leaf pin shaped like a droplet. It will keep you safe and help others know you've been sent by us. Jackie pinned the droplet to her raincoat. I'm ready, she said, holding Pickle's leash tight. Whimsy fluttered with excitement. This way. As they left the teacup tower, the Orange Council member called after them. Jackie, remember, the colors fade when laughter hides. Keep your giggles close. The door shut behind them with a soft whoosh. Jackie turned to Whimsy. Where is the faded glade? Whimsy pointed towards the distant hills, through the whispering petal woods and past the giggling tree. If we hurry, we can reach it before dusk. Jackie looked down at Pickle. Ready for an adventure, partner? Pickle wagged. And together, the three of them headed off towards the faded glade, hoping to find whatever was stealing the color and joy from the rainbow realm. Jackie, Pickle, and Whimsy followed a pebble path that twinkled like jelly beans in the sun. The sky in the rainbow realm was now a soft peachy color, like melted sherbet, and the clouds puffed out little giggles when they floated by. Pickle trotted along, tail wagging, ears perked for every flutter or chirp. Jackie kept her eyes wide and her puddle badge pinned proudly to her raincoat. Whimsy flew in zigzags ahead of them, her mushroom hat bobbing and her wings buzzing with a faint hum. After a while, the pebble path led them into a forest where giant flower petals grew from the trees like umbrellas. Each petal shimmered in a different color, and when the wind blew, they rustled like musical chimes. This is the whispering petal woods, Whimsy whispered. You have to be extra giggly to pass through safely. Giggly? Jackie asked. Whimsy nodded. The petals tickle you if you're too serious, but if you laugh, they let you through. Jackie raised an eyebrow, but the moment she stepped beneath the first flower arch, a petal drooped down and gently tickled her ear. Hee-hee, she giggled, swatting playfully at it. Another petal swooped down and wiggled under her chin. Jackie laughed again. Soon the forest echoed with giggles. Jackie twirled. It's like a feather party. Pickle barked and leapt at a dangling petal, biting playfully. The petal bounced back, tickling his paws. Good, you're passing the test, Whimsy grinned, floating above. As they moved deeper, the petals faded from vibrant pinks and purples to pale, washed-out grays. Jackie slowed. They're not tickling anymore. Whimsy's smile dimmed. They've lost their cheer. This means we're getting close to the giggling tree. After a final curve in the path, the trees opened into a round clearing where a single, enormous tree stood in the center. It had the trunk of a laughing elephant and branches shaped like arms mid-jiggle. Its leaves, once bursting with color, were now pale and droopy. That's the giggling tree, Whimsy said softly. Jackie stepped closer. Is it sick? Whimsy nodded. The tree feeds on giggles. Without them, it wilts. But it's more than that. Look, something's wrong with the wind. Jackie paused. The air was still. Too still. Suddenly, a tiny breeze blew through, but it wasn't like before. Instead of carrying joyful giggles, it whispered something strange. Sigh, too tired, no fun left. Pickle growled a little. Jackie frowned. Is the wind talking? Whimsy nodded. It's the silly song wind. It used to carry ticklish tunes and giggle waves. Now it mumbles sleepy things. That's why the laughter is fading. But why is the wind sad? They circled the tree. At the back of its trunk, they found a hollow with soft musical instruments piled inside, kazoos, tiny drums, and ribbons on sticks. Looks like a party used to happen here, Jackie said. It did. This is where flutterlings and glimmerbugs played music for the wind. The wind would swirl it around the whole realm. Jackie suddenly had an idea. Maybe we should make it laugh again. Whimsy blinked. But how? Jackie smiled. Back at home, when my baby cousin is fussy, I sing a silly song and make a funny dance. Maybe the wind just needs that. She rummaged through the pile and grabbed a kazoo. Pickle, you ready? Pickle gave a bark that sounded like a yes. Jackie stepped onto a mossy rock and began to hum. Then she blew the kazoo with a big, wobbling z-z-z-z-z sound. Whimsy burst into giggles. Jackie twirled in place, stuck out her tongue, and jiggled her bottom while bouncing in her boots. La-dee-doo lumps and doodle scoots, I've got puddle power in my boots. Pickle joined in, hopping in circles and sneezing excitedly. The breeze stirred. Jackie sang louder, dancing wilder. Wiggle your nose, tap your toes, sprinkle jelly beans on your clothes. Hop like a llama, skip like a bee, tickle the wind and dance like me. The wind suddenly puffed. Whoosh! It swirled around Jackie, spinning her in a gentle loop. It whooshed around Whimsy, lifting her higher with a laugh. The giggling trees shivered. One bright green leaf sprouted on a high branch, then another. It's working! Whimsy squealed. Jackie kazooed again with a long honk. I'm not a duck, I'm not a goat, I wear my boots on a jelly bean boat. The silly song wind swirled faster, brighter now, carrying her voice like streamers through the clearing. A golden light sparkled above the tree as the leaves slowly began regaining their colors. The petals on the ground lifted and twirled like little dancers. Pickle barked happily, chasing a floating feather. Jackie giggled until she plopped onto the mossy ground, catching her breath. The wind gave a soft hum like a lullaby. Whimsy floated down beside her. That was incredible. Jackie grinned. I just acted super silly. Exactly, said Whimsy. Silliness brings color, joy brings wind, and together they bring life back to the rainbow realm. They watched as the giggling tree stood taller now, its branches lifting toward the sky. Color rippled outward from it, down paths, across leaves, and into the air. Then, from the distance, they heard faint music drifting their way. A bouncing drum beat, a flutter of bells. Other flutterlings are coming, Whimsy said. They must have felt the wind change. Jackie beamed. Do you think the puddles will come back too? Maybe, Whimsy said. But we still need to visit the faded glade. Jackie stood, brushing leaf confetti off her coat. Then let's go. We've got more color to find. Pickle barked once, ready for the next step of the journey. And with the wind whistling its new happy tune, the trio set off again toward the fading heart of the rainbow realm. The path to the faded glade curved through hills that looked like scoops of sherbet ice cream, peach, mint, and lemon. Jackie, Pickle, and Whimsy walked together, following the trail of color that now trickled softly behind them like a waking rainbow. The air felt warmer. The wind, newly cheerful thanks to Jackie's silly dance, blew gently through Whimsy's wings and rustled Pickle's fur like a happy tickle. But as they climbed over the last hill, Jackie felt it. A strange quiet. No giggles, no breeze. No butterflies or flutterlings or whispering petals. Ahead of them stretched the faded glade. It was once the brightest field in all the rainbow realm, where puddles danced and shimmered, where laughter bounced off every blade of grass, and where joy dripped like syrup from the sky. But now, everything was still. The grass was dull, almost gray. The sky hung low and sleepy. And worst of all, where the puddles had once glowed were only dry, cracked circles of faded dust. Jackie held Pickle's leash tighter. "This feels different." Whimsy landed on her shoulder. "It's worse than I imagined. Look." In the center of the glade, a round patch of ground pulsed faintly. Once, then again, like something under it was breathing or grumbling. Jackie stepped carefully forward. The ground beneath her boots gave a soft She crouched and touched the soil. It was warm and frowny. Yes, frowny. "I think," Jackie said slowly, "the ground is sad." Pickle sniffed and whimpered. His fur stood up a little. Whimsy flew a small loop above them. "I have heard stories about a creature who lives deep below the glade. Long ago, it helped stir the giggles up from the earth. But if it stopped laughing, maybe it started grumbling instead," Jackie guessed. Suddenly, the ground shook gently. Grumble. A tiny puff of dust poofed into the air. "Did the ground just growl?" Jackie asked. Pickle hid behind her leg. "Yes," Whimsy whispered, fluttering low, "and I think we woke it up." Another rumble, this one stronger. "Girl mumble." The dirt at the center cracked. Out popped two stubby fingers, then a nose, then a big round face made entirely of mud and moss. It blinked its sleepy eyes and let out a long sigh. "Oh, why'd you come? There's nothing fun left here." Jackie took a brave step forward. "Hi, I'm Jackie. This is Pickle and Whimsy. We came to help the puddles." The muddy creature rolled over and flopped onto his side like a giant tired beanbag. "No point," it moaned. "Fun's gone. Silly's dried up. Collars all cracked away. Just me and my grumble now." Jackie tilted her head. "What's your name?" "Grumble Moss," it said with a sniff. "Keeper of the Joy Spring. Or I used to be." Jackie knelt. "Why did the joy stop?" Grumble Moss stared at her. "Because everyone stopped visiting. No more bounce games, no more glitter pies, not even a joke from a giggle bug. Just silence. And silence gets heavy." Whimsy hovered closer. "But Grumble Moss, the puddle brought Jackie. That means joy is still possible." Grumble Moss gave a muddy shrug. "She's just one kid. One silly song won't fix everything." Jackie frowned. "It's not just me. I saw the giggling tree perk up. The petals swirled. The wind laughed again." Grumble Moss sat up slowly. A little sparkle flickered in one mossy eyebrow. "You made the wind laugh?" Jackie nodded. "With a kazoo and a puddle dance." Grumble Moss blinked. Pickle barked twice and started wagging his tail fast. Jackie stepped closer. "I think the joy spring didn't dry up. I think it just curled up, waiting for something silly to wake it." Grumble Moss scratched his head. But I'm tired. So very tired. My silly's all dusty. Jackie grinned. Then let's dust it off. She opened the pouch the color council had given her. Inside was the puddle dust, soft, sparkly, and shimmery, like crushed dreams and jelly beans. She held it up. Can I sprinkle this on the joy spring? Grumble Moss hesitated, then nodded. Go ahead, little puddle jumper. Jackie stepped to the center of the glade and poured the dust into a small crack in the ground. Nothing happened at first. Then, poof! A tiny burst of glitter popped out like a sneeze. Then another. Poof! Poof! Pickle sneezed and spun in circles. Then the ground hummed. Softly at first, then louder. Hee 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 hee. Grumble Moss blinked. That's a chuckle. Suddenly, colors burst from beneath the soil like rainbow fountains. The dry circles filled with shimmering puddles that rippled with joy. One splashed upward and sprinkled Jackie's boots. Another puddle bubbled like it was giggling. The whole glade began to dance. Grumble Moss stood tall, taller than a tree now, and laughed deep from his belly. Bah ha ha! The earth rumbled, but this time with happiness. The sky turned bright violet, then peachy pink, then glowing gold. Jackie twirled and whooped. Pickle barked, leapt into a puddle, and spun like a top. Whimsy zipped loops through the colorful sprays. Grumble Moss chuckled again. You did it! You ungrumbled the ground! Jackie beamed. We did it together. You just needed a little help remembering. Grumble Moss sank gently into the ground, letting the puddles shine all around. You've got the puddle power, he said with a grin. Keep splashing, little jumper. As the colors sparkled and the puddles shimmered, Jackie knew the rainbow realm was smiling again, and deep beneath the surface, the joy spring bubbled, wide awake and ready to laugh forevermore. The faded glade was faded no more. Brilliant puddles shimmered across the ground in colors too magical to name. Some glowed like golden lemonade, others sparkled like strawberry sprinkles, and one even hummed softly like a lullaby. Joy had returned, and so had the silly. Jackie splashed through a purple-blue puddle, giggling as it made her boots bounce just a little higher than normal. Pickle rolled through a glowing orange one, his tail wagging so hard it wagged his whole body. And Whimsy did a loop-de-loop in the air, her mushroom hat tilted slightly sideways in pure delight. Jackie, she called with a grin, you've restored more than just puddles. You've brought believing back. Jackie smiled. I just did what felt right, and silly, and sparkly. Grumble Moss popped his muddy head out from behind a sunflower. And don't forget Wiggly. There was plenty of Wiggly. They all laughed together, the sound echoing through the glade like ripples of light. Just then, a soft glimmering sound filled the air, like someone gently tapping a spoon on a rainbow. Whimsy tilted her head. The puddle is calling. Jackie looked down at the biggest puddle in the middle of the glade. It was swirling with colors now. Reds, greens, sky blues, and bright yellows, spinning softly like a sleepy whirlpool. That's the one I came through, isn't it? Jackie asked. Whimsy fluttered beside her. Yes, the rainbow puddle always knows when it's time to return. It's how your world stays safe and how ours stays secret. Jackie's smile wobbled. She looked down at Pickle, who tilted his head. He gave a small whine and pressed his nose against her knee. I don't want to leave just yet. There's still so much to explore. Grumble Moss trudged over, giving the ground a happy little stomp that made nearby puddles splash upward in a dance. You'll always be part of this place, Puddle Jumper. You brought back the joy, remember? Whimsy nodded. And the rainbow puddle isn't just for one visit. When the time is right, and if you still believe, it will call you again. Jackie looked at her boots, now lightly sparkling and slightly sticky from a honey-colored splash, and gave a small nod. She knelt down to Pickle. "Ready to go home, buddy?" Pickle barked once, but his eyes sparkled too, as if he'd missed this world just like she would. Before they stepped into the puddle, Whimsy fluttered forward and handed Jackie something tiny, wrapped in a silver leaf. "What's this?" Jackie asked. "A memory drop. When you miss this place, hold it tight and giggle. Just once. It'll keep your heart bright and open." Jackie tucked the silver leaf into her coat pocket. Then, with one last deep breath, she turned to the swirling puddle. "Goodbye for now." "Goodbye, Jackie of Buttercup Lane," called Whimsy. "Goodbye, Pickle the Brave," added Grumble Moss. Jackie took Pickle's leash in one hand and held her badge in the other. Then she stepped into the puddle. Splash, whoosh, whirl, spin, twirl. Colors surrounded them again. Soft, warm colors that made Jackie feel like she was wrapped in tickles and jelly beans. And just like that, plop, she landed in the middle of the garden by her front gate. The sky was still gray, the clouds were still fluffy, but Jackie's boots sparkled just a little. Pickle gave a happy bark and shook his fur, flicking a single tiny shimmer onto the grass. "Mom?" Jackie called. Her mom stepped onto the porch, drying a teacup. "You've been out there for ages, love." Jackie blinked. "I have?" Her mom chuckled. "Maybe 10 minutes. Did you get all your puddle jumping done?" Jackie looked back at the big puddle near the gate, but now it was just a regular puddle again. No colors, no sparkle, no swirl. "Yes," Jackie said softly, "and then some." That night, Jackie sat on her bed in her carrot-covered pajamas, holding the silver leaf in her palm. Pickle was curled up beside her, fast asleep, twitching slightly, maybe dreaming of bounce bees or glitter pies. She thought about Whimsy and the Color Council. She thought about Grumble Moss, waking up with a giggle. She thought about the giggling tree and the petals that danced like music. Then she smiled, squeezed the silver leaf gently, and gave the tiniest giggle. Hee hee. And if you'd been listening very closely, you might have heard a faint chuckle echo from the wind outside, like the rainbow realm sending one final goodnight.